Hello comrades, my name is Fritz and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program New Horizons Episode 7. Today you join me in orbit around Kerbal for a new mission. We are heading to Minmus with Thompble Kerman at the helm of a spacecraft designed to take measurements about the magnetic field of this small planet. And basically, what we're going to do is knock it into orbit and conduct some science, detach from our main transfer stage, and come home. That's the idea. Hopefully we won't run out of fuel, or like we almost did last time. But in any case, planning your encounter for Minmus generally tends to be a fiddly affair because its gravity is so low that you have to fine-tune your maneuver node pretty precisely. Now, I have pretty low frame rate at the beginning of these episodes, but once the Fraps recording settles in and begins to stabilize, everything turns out okay in the end. Now, I haven't got Flight Engineer on here, so I don't really know a huge amount about my spacecraft. But what I do know is that we are out of fuel on these tanks, so we can go ahead and drop those. Oh no, do that. And yeah, basically, what we're gonna have to do is fine-tune our maneuver by shifting around, following the node. Still got 17 meters per second to go. Collecting a bit of background noise in my microphone here, I think. That's never a good thing, but that's gone away now. That'll stay away for the time being. I'm going to slowly throttle up. Bearing in mind these KW Roxy engines do have a set spool up and spool down time, so it's difficult to judge. I'm going to do that. See what that gets us. No, not quite. Okay. Yeah, we are facing retrogrades. Can we turn off the reaction wheels? Yeah, there we go, right. Thrust using the monopropellant. 0.1. Yes, that's done it. That has done it. Excellent. Right, we can quick save there. Remember not to use the reaction wheels on the way there because the torque oscillates the spacecraft and changes its relative velocity slightly, which will knock our orbit off kilter. That sounds like a tiny issue, and it usually is, I do agree with you, but in the case of Minmus, it most certainly is not. I'm not using a vast amount of fuel here. Okay, we're burning through that quite quickly. And also, as you can see, we have slightly overcooked that in terms of trying to make sure that we are in the same orbit. No worries, we'll just correct that. What have we got to do? Flip around. There we go. And where are we at? 100. Okay, that's quite enough. That's quite enough. What do we need to do? Okay, flip around that way. We alter our inclination by doing this. Oh no, not quite. So you can see we are off axis by quite a bit here. What I'm planning to do is get the orbits relatively synced up. So, yeah, I'm wondering if it would be more worthwhile to... Actually, we'll have a go at this. I'll perform a retrograde correction burn once we've done this, and then we'll... It's only 21 meters per second because gravity is so low here. That should take but a moment. Okay, we are now in the desired orbit, as you can see from the contract window in the top right. Now, all that's left for me to do is determine whether I have my apoapsis or my periapsis, and having done that, we have determined thusly that we are at our apoapsis. At which point, what we can do is do our magnetometer data from high above the orbit of Minmus. We can log the magnetometer data. Okay. Frozen ice cream doesn't admit a magnetic field, dummy. That is funny. Funny man, whoever thought of that. Toggle the magnetometer. Radio plasma wave scan from... Now, you guys are going to love this one. This is a very cool instrument that I've installed in this bulkhead here. Toggle the radio plasma wave system. That's pretty awesome. And that does things, apparently. Log the data. Minmus is alternately protected from and blasted by the solar wind as it moves in and out of Kerman's magneto tail during its orbit. That would make sense, I guess. Okay, we're back, and I've placed our magnetic research outpost in a very low orbit around Minmus, and we're here now cruising perilously close to the surface with all of our magnetometer equipment enabled. I've taken quite a lot of data. I've done some EVA reports. Let's go for another one, actually. And we can just have a look at the spacecraft itself. Turn on the lights and attach that. So all of my science equipment is powered by the solar panels. Let's not bash into them. And I've got 2 radio frequency detectors here on these huge cables, and then down here I've got the 2 extendable magnetometer booms attached to the side of the lander can. And basically what we're going to do is detach this command module from the service module here. We're going to get rid of the solar panels because we don't need those anymore, and head back to Kerbal. So I've just done some spacewalk science, so I won't need to do any more of that. Let's get on board the spacecraft and head back home. But first I have to fold away the magnetometers because they won't survive re-entry. And yes, do the same on the other side there. Folding in nicely, get a spot of orbital ballet. We are a gentle tumble because I don't have the SAS enabled. But that's fine and dandy. Check that I'm recording the sound. Yes, I am. That's good. Always good to check before we start, as I've said before, but I didn't because, well, that's annoying. I time warped. I knew you wouldn't want to see me orbit very slowly for 90 days, so I time warped to about 100,000 times speed, and then when the 90 days had elapsed, I switched orbit so that I could take my data low, or close to the surface, so that we could get that science data back. But first, what we're going to do is plan our escape burn back to Kerbal. I do have an extra engine. I don't just have that Vesta VR1 from the KWRPG pack. I do have another one, the LV909. The oh no. Okay, that's interesting. Maneuver node system glitching out here. That's alright. Pulling the wrong one, I think. Anyway, yes, what we're going to do is head over and pull ourselves into a bigger orbit. Can we, perhaps... whoa, okay. I do have a lunar encounter at some point. That will not be good. We are going to be slung into a massive orbit. Okay, that's fine. We'll just have to deal with that. It is in 20 minutes, and based on the engine that we have, it is about 5 seconds, so that's fine. We'll just kick it up a notch, and then we'll head back home. Okay, here we come. We are just 50 seconds away from our maneuver node. Time warping at 10 times speed. We're going to wait till about 2 seconds beforehand, and then we'll kick it up to full chat and see what that does. And power on, point and thrust. There we are. We've left the Minmusian, is that the right thing? Minmusian sphere of influence. Spear of influence. That's a new one certainly. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to be gaining speed and altitude really quite fast as we fly away from Kerban's second moon after a at least I hope it was a successful mission. I think, yeah, I think I've done the right thing here. If I haven't, obviously, then we'll be pretty stuffed. And we are now getting astonishing views from Kerbin as we effectively freefall our way back home. The solar panels are out. I should probably retract those because we are going to be coming in for re-entry. But it looks like we're going to re-enter on the, well, the light side. Hopefully, I think our trajectory is steepening out exponentially. However, what I'm going to do, whilst the game thinks about loading in, there we are. Oh, it's sunrise. It's just about sunrise. We might hit the land, actually. Sorry, not the land, the sea. I don't know. I'm in scenic mode. I'm not entirely sure about the topography of this part of Kerbin. I rarely land on it. Anyway, yes, I'm used to having a controlled descent and landing of some description. However, because I didn't set the periapsis to be above the atmosphere, we are going to hit it at quite a steep angle, which will mean some pretty spectacular re-entry effects. Unfortunately, processing power wise, my computer doesn't like them very much, so we are going to encounter a bit of lag maybe, but it looks okay for now. And what we're going to do is turn around in the retrograde direction and face this way so we don't burn up. I'm going to run the re-entry at 2 times speed because it is currently running at half speed effectively, and we can watch the spacecraft fall through the atmosphere. That's pretty scary. I will be honest, watch the altitude taking down. Our vertical speed is almost up to 100 meters per second. What's our altitude like? Okay, there's nothing on the dial there, but it looks like we're holding our position fairly well. We're slowing down pretty quickly. It looks like we're going to come down just off this coast here. Literally on the opposite side of the planet to KSC, I believe. Oh, actually, we didn't do so badly. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, we aren't going to get huge science returns from this. Let's do that. Bring the thing back. We can now see how well this thing glides. It is doing a bit of a lawn dart thing at the moment, but that should stabilize quite soon. Let's deploy the main parachutes. And actually, it doesn't look like we're going to need to use that engine to slow us down. And it looks like we can recover the whole lot because we are coming down at 8.4 meters per second. Excuse me, let's have not... oh dear, let's not have a phlegm incident, which should be enough to let the engine survive. Let us, however, just make sure 8.1, 7 meters per second. Okay. Luckily. Oh wow. That. Well. Now that's funny. Okay. Basically. Yeah. The fuel tank exploded, but the engine didn't, so... Well, that's Kerbal Space Program for you. Let's ditch the decoupler. And, yeah, that's not going to do anything, is it? Do we have all of our science instruments? 4 bits of data to collect, and we have made it back. So let's recover the vessel and see if we have completed that contract. I don't know for sure if we have, but I guess we are about to find out once the Space Center scene loads in, which does take a bit of time. And oh, here we go. Have we got any? Ah, it seems like we did. Look at that. We earned 157 science on the mission, and I think we completed the contract. We did as well. Brilliant. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at what other contracts we have. This is a good one. This is transmit or recover scientific data from space around Gilly. This is our mission to Gilly. This looks like our next mission. In the meantime, what we're going to do is check in on our Duna mission, which is orbiting Duna, hopefully. Hasn't kind of fallen over or anything. That's a highly technical demonstration of a mission failure. Falling over, that's what rockets do on the launch pad. Hopefully not something that's going to occur in orbit. Budget Duna mission, here it is, orbiting Duna, and looks like everything's fine. You will note that we were in a polar orbit, and you saw just then that the orbit is much more coplanar with Duna's equator. That's because I need to send up a rescue craft. Basically, we are out of fuel. The nuclear tug has overstayed its welcome on the fuel side. So essentially, yeah, this is the craft you remember from the previous episode. We took Thompble Kerman down to the surface and back again. I'm still kind of annoyed about the fact that we forgot to take the radio plasma data from Minmus, but we'll come back to that later. I'm going to undock. The space tug has been a faithful asset to the mission. Let's put on the RCS and back away from it. Very good. And then we need to send up a rescue mission. Now, this is a similar circumstance to the one that we had around Ike, which you can see right there. And we did get the spacecraft back successfully, although we didn't actually get the stranded spacecraft back. We transferred the science from the command pod, so hopefully the spacecraft will have a big enough amount of data storage capacity. Although, for now, we're going to leave Thompble Kerman in orbit around Duna to fend for himself from the alien creatures on the surface who'll come up and try to terrorize him. But in the meantime, join me next time for another episode of New Horizons. My name is Fritz, and I will, of course, see you on the other side.